I can't remember one of the finals rounds here for the Nimes competition. I don't remember how many 30s in a row it was he shot in the finals, but it was a lot. He was on fire on a string that was just unbelievable. He was closing out match after match, not giving anybody a chance.
Well, now that you mentioned that, Vic Wonderly, let's take a look at the scores throughout this match, which Brady Ellison wins 6-2. 3 straight 10s to finish off the 4th set. Had 2 10s in the 2nd set, 2 10s in the 1st set. That 3rd set gave back some points as he had a pair of 8s to start off on the first 2 shots, finished off with a 10. But for the match, 8 out of his 12 shots, I believe, in the 10 ring.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this was a good performance, and it was a bronze medal winning performance, but in Brady's world and his ability, this actually was not his best match. He's capable of much more, and I imagine Brady's probably a little frustrated with the shooting, even though he did win.
Although when you win on a day when it's not your best day,
that does speak volumes for how good he is. When you're able to win on a bad day, that's a talented archer there, or a lucky archer, sometimes a little of both.
Little of both. 2 good, talented archers right here. In the men's gold medal match, recurve competition, you are looking at Victor Ruban of Ukraine, 32 years old, ranked 20th in the world, but has a gold medal resume to his credit. He was a 6-4 victor in the quarterfinals and then was almost flawless in the semifinals against Brady Ellison, 11 of his 12 shots in the center ring. And now he'll face another Australian. This is Ryan Tyack of Australia. He cruised to a 7-1 victory in his quarterfinal match, then needed just 9 shots and 3 sets to blank Taylor Worth in the semifinals. So Ryan Tyack versus Victor Ruban, and the only matchup for these two down through the years, Ruban won 6-0, and that was at stage 1 in Shanghai last year, 2013.
I got to shoot with Ryan in the qualification, both at this Indoor World Championships and the last Indoor World Championships as well. And he seemed to be shooting pretty good. Once in a while he'd have an inlet get away from him and struggle, but generally he shot pretty consistently and pretty good throughout the match.
He'll need to be on his A game today, and he's on his A game right from the start.
10 points to start it off.
Victor Ruban, gold medalist at the 2008 Games in Beijing.
10 as well.
And of course, Victor, a team gold medal yesterday.
Хорошо, Victor.
Trying to hold it steady.
Yeah, you could see him trying to recover from that shot. His sight pin was probably a little bit on the left-hand side when he shot it, because you could see him trying to bring his bow arm back over at the last minute. No. All tied up.
At the very least, Ryan Tyack will split the points.
Isn't your shoulder?
As Victor Ruban.
Keep me finished. You'll be fine.
Ooh, surprisingly low with an 8. And Tyack takes the lead.
It's hard to get away with 8s when you're shooting against the best guys in the world on these. You notice a little bit of difference in their equipment. Victor Ruban's shooting X10 arrows, so it's a small carbon outdoor arrow that we generally use for the outdoor competitions because of less wind drift. And Ryan's using aluminum arrows, which are also extremely accurate, but they can catch more lines due to the size of the arrow indoors. They're not preferred outdoors because of wind drift. Indoors, both arrows can be very accurate. The aluminums will catch a little bit more lines, but has a little bit slower reaction time in the bow as well, so sometimes a mistake can be magnified a little more.
And that arrow is in the air for less than a second.
It doesn't take long. You blink and it's there.
It's there, and a lot can happen, though, on the way to that target.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, no matter how well you do the whole shot, it's that split second that you let go of the arrow. If you do something wrong at that second, it can affect the whole outcome of the shot.
So Ryan Tyack with a 2-0 lead after the first set. Victor Ruban from Ukraine. And we assure you he did hit a target.
Yeah, I think they were zoomed in on the wrong spot there.
Run 5.
And a 9 for Tyack. Ranked 72nd in the world standings. Ruban back in the 10 ring.
Так держать, четко, четко. Не застаивайся, четко работай.
10. Good.
So tied at 19 after the first 2 shots. Second set. 2-0 lead for the Australian. And Ruban trying to put the pressure on.
Yeah, you're shooting pretty quick, smooth shots there.
Он неплохой был, но все-таки не по месту прицел.
That's a close one. I'm not sure about that. They'll have to call that one at the target.
So Ryan Tyack, silver medalist at the Australian Open last year. Finished 9th 2 years ago in Las Vegas at the Indoor World Championships. Going up against one of the best in the business, Victor Ruban, who competed here in Nimes the last time they held the Indoor Championships here back in 2003. Haven't been around a while.
I was at that competition, actually.
You've both been around a while.
I remember shooting with him at a tournament in Antalya, Turkey, probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. And we walked down to the target there one end, shooting a 6-arrow end, and he forgot to shoot one of his arrows. He only shot 5 arrows into the target.
Shortchanged himself. I guess it happens. If you stick around long enough, you see everything, don't you, Vic?
Yeah, you do. You do. But I'm sure he learned a valuable lesson from that match as well.
Don't leave any bullets in the gun.
That's right.
I wonder if Victor looks back on that story with the same sense of humor that we do.
I doubt it. I doubt it. But,
yeah.
But the good news was, even if he'd have shot a 10 on that arrow, I still would have beat him for the match. So.
Ruban, by the way, did pick up the 2 points in that second set. We're tied at 2-all. And he needs a 10 to keep pace with Ryan Tyack, and he does.
10. Run good.
That thumb on the back of his neck.
You don't see that too often, but it creates a very solid anchor point. A lot of the old Soviet countries used that technique for many years to great success, but it's not the technique that you see used most often these days. But obviously, it's a gold medal winning technique.
It goes back years, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Don't forget, before we shoot in 10 minutes, you do really well.
Door is open for Victor Ruban, and he goes right through that door and slams it behind him.
He did, right in the middle, right in the middle. Whether you're shooting the thin X10 arrows or the fat aluminum arrows, if you shoot it in the middle, it's in the middle.
Victor knows a golden opportunity when he sees one. Saw one right there, took advantage of it, and picked up 2 more points and takes the lead of the match 4-2 and is in position right now to pick up his 2nd gold medal here at the Indoor World Championships in Nimes.
Yeah, it's nice at that point in the match when you have a little bit of a lead. You don't want to relax too much, but you know if you have one good end in the next 2 ends, you can shut it away. You can afford to make one mistake, although you never want to.
And there's a good look at that style employed by Victor Ruban with the thumb on the back of his neck. As you said, using it as an anchor point.
Yeah, it locks his hand in, makes it very steady for his anchor point. Zabrowski used that technique for many years, and he was one of the famous archers from the Soviet Union and Russia, Kazakhstan.
So Tyack, with his back against the wall, comes out gunning.
Витя, держи, держи, держи левую.
And I have to correct myself. They split those set points in the third set, so we're tied up at 3-all. Tied up at 19-all, tied up in the match, 3-all.
10.
So it's up to Ruban. Who can split the points or fall behind, and he splits the points.
Both of these archers are making very good shots. They're shooting pretty quick, pretty smooth. There's a few of them that aren't as smooth as they would like, but in general, they're both shooting pretty well here.
Advantages to shooting quickly, just not giving yourself that much time to think it through too much.
And there can be a couple things. One is less time to think, and the second one is, seems like after you, it takes a couple seconds to settle in initially, but after that point, you're expending extra energy, and you slow down the motion of pulling through the clicker. You notice there's a clicker on the front of the bows, and the second the clicker drops, it makes a clicking sound, tapping the bow, and the archer lets go instantly. It's almost like a reflex to the archers at this level that have done it this many years.
And you talk about the energy, Vic. There is a lot of energy expended in drawing that bowstring back, because you're talking about what, 45 to 55 pounds, somewhere in that range.
Depends on the archer, but I would imagine these archers are probably in the upper 40s, anywhere 45 to 52 pounds would be my guess. And they burn a lot of mental energy in these matches too. Shooting 3 arrows in a match like this will tire you out as much as shooting 10 arrows in practice.
As calm as they may look, the adrenaline is flowing.
Ryan Tyack, 10 points.
10 more for Tyack, who is hanging in there with Victor Ruban. We're tied at 4-all here in the 5th set.
9.
Ooh, and a break for Tyack. That may be the break he needs to pull off an upset.
All he needs is one more arrow now, one more 10, and he'll seal the deal.
He's on the verge. Ruban has to give himself a chance, though. And he gives himself that chance, stays 1 point behind, but it's all in the hands of Tyack right now.
1 arrow away from a world champion.
For the gold. And there it is.
He did it in world champion fashion. That hit the very middle.
Ryan Tyack down the middle. And Victor Ruban finishes strong, but it's not going to be enough. So a match that was so close all the way through comes down to a difference of a 9 and a 10 on the final shot. And it means a gold medal.
It's a very fine line when you get to that level. This has got to be very exciting for Ryan and the whole Australian team. It's been a while since they've had an individual world championship, and definitely a big boost to his young career at this point.
He may not be showing it outwardly, but I'm sure inside, that's one excited guy.
Yeah, it is. It is. I guarantee you he's jumping up and down inside, even if you don't see it.
So Ryan Tyack, on paper, you've got to say that this is an upset. Victor Ruban obviously came in with more experience, more credentials, a gold medal in the Olympics. Ryan Tyack, obviously, I think the biggest win of his career.
Oh, most definitely. But, with archery, it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what you did last week. You can be an Olympic gold medalist, and you can lose to the lowest ranked guy on the field if you don't put it together at that moment and that point in time. Ryan was shooting pretty solid this week. His scores were pretty good, pretty consistent. When I shot with him in the qualification round, he was doing well. It doesn't surprise me to see him up on the podium.
So a great battle between Ryan Tyack and Victor Ruban, and the Australian able to come away with the victory. And he gets a little bit of revenge for his 6-0 loss last year to Victor at Stage 1 in Shanghai on the Archery World Cup Outdoor Circuit. So Tyack takes the gold medal. Ruban settles for silver, and Brady Ellison happy to come home with a bronze medal from the indoor championships as we now set the stage for the presentation of the medals to the victors. Speaking of victor, Vic Wonderly alongside Carl Arke here at the Indoor World Championships in Nimes, France. Well, I think they've done an outstanding job of staging this event. The lighting, the atmosphere, the music, everything has gone so well this week.
I was just thinking that when you said that. They really have done a class act for this whole thing. They always do a wonderful job here in Nimes. They have a lot of experience. They have very good organization, and you know, the practice that they have with the Nimes event every year and previously hosting a world championship at this venue. This has really been first class.
No, it's been an outstanding week. The expo next door has been great. I'm sure you've been over there spending some money.
I was definitely walking around looking at all the new archery products and trying to keep up to date on everything, and it's always fun to see what archery products are around the world.
What can they improve, Vic? What can they make